All right, these are live pictures coming to us as Mamata Banerjee, we are told, is all set to go and have her chai pe charcha with Sonia Gandhi. Remember, roughly around the same time yesterday, she was sitting with the Prime Minister. And ever since then, lots of political developments have come in. And there you have Mamata Banerjee driving in to Lutyens' Delhi bungalow of Sonia Gandhi. Now, what will be discussed over here is going to be very, very key. In fact, minutes before this meeting starts, Mamata Banerjee did address the media, select few in the media off camera as well, and spoke about a host of issues. Let me quickly recap those for you. She spoke about opposition unity, but in a typical Mamata Banerjee style, went on to say that she is no astrologer. She cannot predict who will go on to lead the opposition in the days to come. And talking about that meeting, let's go across to my colleague Srinivasan Jain joining us. Vasu, lots of important points in that off-camera briefing just minutes before she actually goes into another meeting, this time with Sonia Gandhi. Key highlights?
Absolutely. Sonal, Mamata Banerjee was in quite a relaxed mood as she took a range of questions from a wide cross-section of the Delhi media. I think as you were pointing out, most of the questions were really about this proposed third front or anti-BJP front and what sort of role she sees for herself in it. She didn't directly answer that question. She said, I'm not a political astrologer. It depends on the situation. When she was asked whether she sees herself as a leader of that front. In fact, that's the question I asked her. She said, I have no problem if someone else leads. I'm a simple worker. I want to continue as a worker. But she does say that she is going to be talking to and is already in touch with a number of political parties, non-BJP parties. She said, I spoke to Lalu Prasad Yadav yesterday. She's been in touch with Arvind Kejriwal as well. And of course, she's meeting Sonia Gandhi as we speak. She said, we'll be talking to all parties. And essentially, I think the idea that she was saying is that there should be a common platform and all parties must work together. And including, she said, the so-called outliers, the non-BJP parties who are seen as, in a sense, not opposed to the NDA, like Jagan Mohan Reddy's party or Naveen Patnaik's BJD. She said, when there is a storm, everybody will unite. But she did spend a considerable amount of time attacking the BJP and the government on the Pegasus issue. She said that seems to be a focus at the moment. She says that her own phone is most likely hacked, and even if it isn't, whenever she speaks to Prashant Kishore, her political strategist advisor, or her nephew Abhishek Banerjee, whose phones were on the supposed Pegasus list, she says, in any case, our phones are compromised. So that was really the sense that we got from Mamata Banerjee. I think waiting to see how the contours of this non-BJP front come together, but at the same time coming up with issues which she believes are the ones that are likely to hit the BJP the hardest.
Right. And Vasu, if I can reflect a little more on what happened at that meeting, and we are just beginning to see the first visuals of that meeting also come to us. Very candid, like you said, Mamata Banerjee is sitting a few meters away from the media on a microphone, giving out all the answers that have been talked about. But I'm sure the most important question, and perhaps something that everybody wanted to know there, was that what happened in that meeting with the Prime Minister yesterday?
So she was asked that question, and she said that she didn't want to talk about it because she said that there are certain matters that one cannot speak about out of courtesy. In fact, she was asked a more direct question as to whether she brought up the Pegasus snooping gate during that meeting. And again, she deflected that question, saying that she didn't want to talk about certain things which are, as she said, a matter of courtesy. One has to maintain the protocol of those meetings. But she did almost immediately after that reiterate her demand that there should be, as the joint opposition has called for, an investigation into the probe, hinting perhaps that that might have come up, or she may have brought it up in the meeting with the Prime Minister. But, for a change, though she's quite outspoken and doesn't often follow the conventional protocols, she did demur from revealing more about that one-to-one between her and the Prime Minister.
All right. And Vasu, as we look at those visuals, last question really, what are the expectations from this meeting and this chai pe charcha that's now going to happen, which perhaps has already begun between Mamata Banerjee and Sonia Gandhi?
Right. So again, she was asked about the meeting with Sonia, and her answer to that was that, look, she's been in touch with Sonia for a long time. They've always, she said, had good equations from the time of Sonia Gandhi's late husband, Rajiv Gandhi, even though at times they may have been political adversaries. So she said she very much looked forward to meeting her, as she does a number of other opposition leaders she's meeting. She was asked about what she makes of the fact that whether the Congress is seen as a weak link in the overall non-BJP front in the opposition. She said, look, that's a matter for the Congress. It's an internal matter. But she said, as far as I understand it, Sonia Gandhi too very much wants opposition unity. And I suspect that's really the sense of what these meetings are likely to be, where they sort of try to, as it were, sow the seeds for some kind of potential front that comes up at some point, perhaps closer to the elections. And Mamata Banerjee, in a sense, taking the lead in trying to put together such a gathering, or at least get some momentum going on that front.